Welcome back to the English 10 podcast, your easygoing space to soak up practical English for real life. I'm Lara, your host, and today we've got a super helpful, down-to-earth episode. We're diving into 100 daily routine English sentences. They're not just phrases to memorize. They're snippets you'll hear or say every day, woven into a natural conversation. Our format is a friendly Q&A, so you'll hear questions and longer, thoughtful answers that feel like you're really talking with a friend. Today's guest is Thomas, a university student who has a fairly packed daily routine, but he loves sharing how he shapes his mornings, study sessions, meals, and downtime. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hey, Lara. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat about my day and the sentences that help me keep everything moving smoothly. I'm a student, so my days can swing from calm to chaotic in a blink, but I've learned a few phrases that make it easier to describe what I'm doing and why.
Perfect. Let's start with a simple question that many listeners wonder about. How do you begin your day, Thomas? And what's the first sentence you'd use in English to describe it? Tell us how your day typically starts. What's the very first thing you say or tell yourself in English?
Well, the very first thing I usually tell myself is, I should get out of bed and start the day. But I often add a bit more detail when I'm speaking to someone else. Like, I'm getting up now, I'll grab a quick shower and then have breakfast. That way, I'm not just muttering to myself, I'm communicating a plan.
And what do you actually say when you're trying to wake up early but feel groggy?
I say, time to wake up, Thomas. We've got a busy day ahead, so let's shake off the sleep and get moving. Then I'll follow with, I'm gonna stretch for a few minutes, drink some water, and start with a light breakfast. It helps to speak in the first person, but with a bit of motivation.
Breakfast sounds important. What are some routine sentences you use around breakfast?
When I'm sitting at the table, I might say, I'll have oatmeal with fruit and a cup of coffee. Or, today I'm trying yogurt with granola and berries. If I'm cooking, I'll tell a roommate I'm going to boil some eggs and toast a slice of bread. If I'm rushing, I'll explain, I'm scrambling to finish breakfast because I have a class at 9 p.m.
How about planning your morning commute or your first class?
I'd say, I've got a class at 9. I'm leaving in 10 minutes. Or, I'm on my way to campus now. Should we sync up later? If I'm the one inviting someone, want to meet up before class for a quick coffee is common.
Let's move to study time. What phrases describe your study routine?
I often start with, time to hit the books, or I'm going to review this lecture for 30 minutes. If I'm sharing a plan with a study buddy, I'll say, let's break this topic into 2 sections and do a quick recap after each one.
When you're organizing notes, what do you say?
I say, I'm organizing my notes by topic and date, or I'm transferring important points into my study notebook. If I'm asking for help, I might say, could you help me highlight the key concepts from this chapter?
And when you're setting a study goal, what do you tell yourself?
I might tell myself, I want to finish this problem set before lunch, or let's aim for 2 solid topics today. If I'm logging progress, I'll note, today I completed 3 practice questions and summarized the main ideas.
Do you ever switch study topics? What would you say in English?
Yes, I'll say, time for a quick switch. Let's move to something a little more visual. Or I'll switch to reading, then come back to problems. And if I've got a question, I'll say, I'm stuck on this concept. Can we go over it together?
What about lunch? How do you describe lunch in your routine?
I usually say, I'm grabbing lunch now, or I'm taking a break to eat and recharge. If I'm cooking, I'll add, I'm making a quick pasta with vegetables. If I'm with friends, let's eat together. I'm bringing leftovers.
Do you plan time for a quick walk or a break after studying?
Definitely. I'll tell myself I'll take a 15-minute walk to refresh my mind, or I'm stepping outside for a breath of fresh air. If I'm guiding a friend, I'll suggest, let's stretch our legs a bit before we dive into the next task.
How do you vocalize transitions between activities?
I use phrases like, okay, time to switch gears, or now we move on to the next thing. If I'm coordinating with someone else, I'll say, when you're free, we can continue this later, or I'll pick up where I left off after dinner.
Dinner time brings a social angle. What sentences come up there?
I might say, I'm cooking tonight. Want to help? Or I'm making a simple dinner, pasta with tomato sauce. If I'm going out, I'm meeting friends for dinner at 7, or I'll grab something quick on the way back.
After dinner, how do you recap your day?
I often reflect with, today was productive. I managed to cover 3 topics and finish a few assignments. And if I'm sharing with a roommate, I'm going to tidy up the kitchen and pack my bag for tomorrow.
Evening wind down. What routines do you describe?
I'll say, I'm planning tomorrow's schedule before bed, or I'm setting my alarm for the morning. If I'm meditating or relaxing, I'm taking 10 minutes to unwind with some breathing exercises.
Do you mention chores or personal care at night?
Yes, I might tell myself, I'll wash the dishes and clean the counters, or I'll brush my teeth and wash my face. If I'm sharing with a friend, let's tidy up before we crash for the night.
Social media or screen time before bed? How do you phrase that?
I'd say I'm checking a few messages and then putting the phone away. Or time to read a chapter and dim the lights. If someone asks, are you up late? I reply, I'll be in bed by a reasonable hour.
Sleep routine? Any quintessential sentences?
I'd tell myself I'm aiming for 8 hours of sleep, or I'm going to bed now to wake up refreshed. If someone asks how I slept, I respond, pretty well. I slept a solid 8 hours.
What about mornings again? Any repeatable phrases you rely on?
Definitely. I'll say, I'm up. Coffee is essential. Or a quick workout first thing sets the tone. If I'm inviting a friend, Join me for a short workout before class.
Let's capture a few more practical sentences you use to describe routines in everyday scenarios.
Sure, I'm packing my bag with textbooks, notebooks, and a water bottle. I'm choosing an outfit for the day that's comfortable and presentable. I'll wash my face and brush my teeth before leaving the house. I'm locking the door and turning off the lights as I head out.
Do you ever describe how you manage energy levels during the day?
Yes, I often say I'm pacing myself, taking small breaks so I don't burn out, or I'm hydrating regularly to stay focused. If I'm feeling a slump, I'll say I'm grabbing a quick snack and a glass of water to regain energy.
How about your study routine when you're preparing for exams?
I'd say I'm making a concise study guide for the main topics, and I'm practicing with flashcards for active recall. If someone asks for help, let's review these practice questions together.
Any sentences you use to describe collaboration with classmates?
We're meeting at the library to discuss the project, or could you? Share your notes from yesterday's lecture. If I'm presenting, I'm outlining my ideas first and then elaborating with examples.
Now, some everyday phrases you might use during errands.
I'm running to the grocery store to pick up groceries, and I'll grab a quick snack on the way. Or I'm returning a library book and paying fines if there are any.
And when you refer to your technology use, what do you say?
I'm checking emails and calendar for the week, or I'm syncing my notes to the cloud so I have access on my phone. If I want to stop distractions, I'm logging out of social media for a focused study session.
What about health and wellness routines, like exercise?
I'm doing a 20-minute workout, mostly body weight exercises, or I'm stretching for 5 minutes after waking up. If I'm trying something new, I'm trying a 30-minute jog today to boost endurance.
Any phrase you use to describe personal care beyond the basics?
I'm taking a shower and getting dressed for the day. I'm applying sunscreen before I go outside. If I'm pampering a bit, I'm treating myself to a quick facial mask tonight.
Do you ever describe travel or campus life routines?
Yes, I'm taking the bus to campus, or I'm biking to uni today. If I'm navigating campus, I'm heading to the science building on the other side.
How do you describe turning in for the night in a more relaxed way?
I'm winding down with a novel for half an hour, or I'm streaming a light show before bed to help me relax.
Let's mix in some social language. How do you talk about meeting friends?
I'm meeting a friend for coffee after class, or we're planning a study session and grabbing lunch together. If plans shift, let me know if you want to join. The more the merrier.
What about cleaning and upkeep routines?
I'm tidying the apartment for 10 minutes. Then I'll tackle the dishes. I'm setting a timer to clean the bathroom for a focused session. If someone asks for help, could you help me organize the closet this weekend?
Do you talk about routines with family or roommates?
Yes, I'm calling mom to say hello, or I'm coordinating chores with my roommates. If we have guests, we're getting the guest room ready.
Parenting adjacent routines, if applicable.
Not parenting yet, but I'm trying to be responsible, like setting reminders for deadlines and ensuring I'm on time for classes. If someone asks for tips, plan ahead and communicate your schedule.
You mentioned self-care already. How do you express that?
I'm taking a mental health break, or I'm meditating for 5 minutes to reset. If a friend asks how you're coping, I'm keeping a balance between study and rest.
What about transportation maintenance or prep?
I'm checking the bike tires and brakes before I ride, or I'm filling the gas tank and checking the route for traffic. If I'm going somewhere new, I'm plotting the fastest route and leaving early.
Do you describe your finances or budgeting in routine sentences?
I'm tracking my expenses this week, or I'm setting aside a small amount for savings. If I'm curious about a purchase, I'm comparing prices before I buy.
Any phrases for seasonal or weather-related adjustments?
I'm putting on a jacket because it's chilly, or I'm carrying an umbrella. The forecast says rain. If I'm traveling, I'm packing layers for the day.
How do you describe your interactions with teachers or mentors?
I'm asking for feedback on the assignment, or I'm meeting with my professor during office hours. If I get praise, thanks. I appreciate the guidance.
Let's switch to the gym buddy vibe. Phrases you'd use with a friend at the gym.
I'm starting with a warm-up, or I'm focusing on core exercises today. If my friend is late, I've started the routine. You can join in when you arrive.
Add, do you describe your personal projects outside class?
I'm working on a side project, building a small portfolio, or I'm drafting ideas for a personal blog. If someone asks for progress, I've saved 3 drafts and I'm editing them this week.
Also, how about pets or hobbies? Any routine sentences there?
I'm walking the dog twice a day, or I'm practicing guitar for 20 minutes. If I'm talking to a friend, do you want to join me for a quick practice session?
Let's keep going with language-specific routines. Rephrasing to be natural.
I'm repeating the new vocabulary to strengthen memory, or I'm listening to a podcast in English while I walk. If I'm practicing with a partner, could you quiz me on these phrases later?
When you're balancing classes, work, and social life, what do you say?
I'm juggling multiple commitments today, but I'll make time for a break, or I'm prioritizing. Tasks, finish the urgent ones first. If I need help, could you remind me of the deadline later?
Any closing sentences you end your day with to wrap things up?
I'm grateful for what I accomplished today. Or I'm setting the top 3 priorities for tomorrow. If someone asks, how did your day go? I reply, busy but productive. I learned a lot and got things done.
You've mentioned many routine sentences. Do you have a go-to sentence to summarize your day?
Yes, today was a balanced day. Some study, some social time, and a bit of rest. If someone asks what you learned, I learned how to manage time better and how to stay focused during long study sessions.
Quick fire style. What are 5 phrases you'd say in a moment of doubt or hurry?
I've got this. One step at a time. Let's calm down and focus. What's the fastest, most effective move here? And I'll figure it out. Let's make a plan.
And 5 phrases for motivation when you're not feeling it.
I'll start with the smallest step. A little progress is still progress. I'm going to show up even if it's tough. I can do hard things, and consistency beats intensity.
Finally, 5 patient-friendly phrases you'd use with someone who's new to routines.
We can figure this out together. Start small and build up. Let me know what you need. There's no rush. Steady progress is great, and I'm happy to help you plan a routine that fits
you. Before we wrap up the main section, any extra tips for listeners who want to use these sentences naturally?
Absolutely. Practicing in context matters more than memorizing them in isolation. Try using several sentences in a short, natural exchange with a friend or a classmate. For example, you can start with, "I'm heading to class now, I'll be back soon," and then extend the conversation with follow-up questions. What does your schedule look like today? Or any tips for staying focused during long study sessions. The verbs and prepositions sometimes change depending on the person you're talking to, so listening to how natives use them in conversation is key.
That's a great reminder. Now, Thomas, could you share a final, extended example that threads together a typical day using several of the sentences we've discussed?
Of course. Here's a cohesive mini-day narrative. Morning. I'm getting up now. I'll grab a quick shower and have breakfast. After a moment, time to wake up, Thomas. We've got a busy day ahead, so let's shake off the sleep. I prepare a simple breakfast. I'll have oatmeal with fruit and a cup of coffee. If I'm rushing, I say, "I'm scrambling to finish breakfast because I have a class at 9. On my way out, I've got a class at 9. I'm leaving in 10 minutes. Commute in class. I'm on my way to campus now. Should we sync up later? If I'm studying, time to hit the books. Or I'm going to review this lecture for 30 minutes. Study session. Let's break this topic into 2 sections and do a quick recap after each one. If I finish a section, today I completed 3 practice questions and summarized the main ideas. Lunch and break. I'm grabbing lunch now. Perhaps I'm taking a break to eat and recharge after lunch. I'm stepping outside for a breath of fresh air. Afternoon study and group work. We're meeting at the library to discuss the project. And could you share your notes from yesterday's lecture? If I'm collaborating, let's review these practice questions together. Evening routine. I'm cooking tonight. Do you want to help? If I'm alone, I'm making a quick pasta with tomato sauce. After dinner, I'm planning tomorrow's schedule before bed, and I'm setting my alarm for the morning. Night wind down. I'm taking 10 minutes to unwind with some breathing exercises. I'm checking a few messages and then putting the phone away. And I'm reading a chapter before bed to help me relax. If I'm tired, I'll say, I'm aiming for 8 hours of sleep, and I'm going to bed now to wake up refreshed.
That's a great flowing example that ties together many of the sentences we've covered. Now, to wrap up the main segment. Would you like to add any final personal notes about how these sentences helped you communicate better in real life, Thomas?
Definitely. The key is consistency and natural usage. It's not just about knowing the exact sentences. It's about letting them fit the moment and your voice. When I'm describing my day, I try to be specific where it matters and concise where I'm just giving a routine. For example, instead of saying, I'll do some work later, I'd say, I'm finishing this problem set before lunch, then I'll take a short break. That makes the conversation more concrete and easier for the other person to respond to. And I always try to end statements with a question or an invitation when appropriate. Like, want to join me for a study session later? Or, would you like them to send you a summary of the lecture?
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing all these sentences in such a natural, friendly way. It's one thing to list phrases, and another to hear them used in everyday life, in context, with a real person. Viewers and listeners, you've got a full menu of daily routine sentences now, 100 of them, woven into a genuine dialogue that you can imitate, adapt, and practice. And if you're listening and you want to practice, try this. Pick a typical day and record yourself saying several of these sentences in order. Then listen back and note where your tone or pronunciation could feel more natural. You'll get better at not just the words, but the rhythm of how we actually talk. Great practical tip. Before we finish, a quick recap. We covered morning routines, study blots, meals, breaks, transitions, evening wind-downs, social plans, chores, and personal care, with a lot of lines that you can insert into your own daily life. The takeaway is to use these sentences as tools to express clearer plans, better intentions, and more natural conversation with friends, classmates, roommates, or even mentors.
And the more you practice, the more your English will sound like a natural part of your daily life, not something you pulled out of a textbook.
There you have it, folks. The 100 daily routine English sentences delivered in a warm, conversation-first format. With Laura and Thomas guiding you through a full practical day. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to English 10 Podcast, leave a rating or a comment, and tell us which sentence you'll try to use today. This was English 10 Podcast. I'm Laura, and I had Thomas here with me, sharing his everyday routine in a way that's approachable and real. Thanks for listening, and remember, the best way to learn is to practice in the flow of your day. Catch you next time with more real-life English, more stories, and more ways to help you sound natural and confident.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, and don't be afraid to tweak these sentences to fit your own life. I'll see you around.